Hey pals, Palumor here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what was that? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a brand new build that I made for Subrogue. It's don't subscribe to this guy. Hey pals, welcome back to another video. First, I just want to say sorry. It's been a really long time since I've made a video. Just had a huge lack of content lately. But over the last few weeks, I've actually theory crafted a new rogue build for you guys to go try. I don't really have a name for this build, but it's a really fun one where basically you can do a ton of damage, a ton of DPS, and you have a ton of energy regen. Basically, what I'm going to do is I've been playing this with some of my viewers on stream, some healers. I've been testing it out, having fun, so I'll show you guys some gameplay using it, and then at the end of the video, I'll kind of break down the actual build. I'll explain how it works and how to play it to the best of its ability. Anyways, I love you all very much. Thank you for watching. Let's jump right into the video. Alright guys, so for the first game here, I'm playing versus a Destrolock and a Subrogue. So I kind of decided to do two examples, one versus double DPS and one versus a DPS and healer to give you kind of an idea of the pace. So right off the bat, I'm basically just gas pedaling the Warlock. I get Trinket and Dark Pact. I come out of the duel, I basically see the rogue blinded, so I just pre-vanish that. I sit stealth for a second, blind the rogue and reopen, and I just continue to pump. So as you can see, my Shadow Dance is down for like 30 seconds, so I throw like a little meld sap in, and I'm doing my best to basically shut down this rogue from doing anything, and just doing as much DPS as I can to the Warlock and building back my Shadow Dance. Every time I do get one of these dances back, I'm going to be able to apply an insane amount of pressure. I get put into a tight little spot here, so I go for a re-stealth, and instead of waiting around, I basically just reopen right away. Have a little bit of a close call here. I didn't realize my pally sacked me, so I trinket in the duel. Just basically spamming finishers. I get a dance back. As you can see, I connect to the Warlock, and I start cranking him. The rogue disarms me, I get bopped on it, and I'm just chasing this Warlock down, just absolutely cranking him with DPS, and as you can see, he almost goes down, gets a nice coil off, stalls the game out a bit longer, but basically as long as I can survive this next little second of time, he will probably die before I even build back a third Shadow Dance, and this is what a lot of these games look like. Basically playing this build, it allows you to do just such an absurd amount of pressure and like big bursts with your dance that it's like, you know, this is a Destro Warlock that I'm killing, by the way. You know, Destro Warlock's one of the tankiest things in the game right now between Dark Pact, Wall, just being an orc with stun reduction. There's like a lot of tools they have to survive. So the fact that I'm able to kind of like run this guy down is kind of insane. Just one example here to kind of demonstrate the amount of bursts. So as you can see, third Shadow Dance connects and it's just super overkill, even with the disarms as well. So that's game number one, and now I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys kind of a game versus another healer DPS to give you kind of a feel for the pace of that game. Okay, so next up I'm playing against Warrior, Resto Druid. This game should give you a really good idea of how the game will look versus another healer DPS. So, you know, usually versus a Warrior team, you're going to be running a lot as a Subrogue. You're going to get out DPS'd, but in this game, as you can see, I will apply a ton of pressure, and I stay in a lot of the time. So on the opener here, basically my Pally Hodges and I Kidney at the same time, and I kind of just pop my dance into the Fleshcraft, Warrior Trinket, so I blind his Trinket to make sure we don't get peeled here. So we force the skin off the Druid, and we kill his Fleshcraft. So, you know, Resto Druid Fleshcraft is usually quite big. I meld the spear there, so I'm actually able to walk out. I basically chase down this Pally, I get bopped, or sorry, I chase down this Druid, and as you can see, I'm just spamming Backstab, and I'm spamming Shiv, and I'm spamming Shuriken Storm, and I'm just using finishers. Once again here, I connected the Druid. I go a second before I have Dance, so I don't get the most damage off during this stun. I don't know if I want to restun, and then I decide to commit, and then he pops his regen, so unfortunately, this is kind of like a bad little setup here, but once again, I'm just cranking out finishers, and I'm trying to build back this Dance as fast as possible, so I can do another setup. The game's in a position now where basically if we hodge the Warrior into a rep, I can probably just kill the Druid through his Trinket because I do so much damage and my Pally can basically use Shackles or something. So I guess we did actually force the proc in the last setup. So as you can see here, I walk up, I let my Pally hodge, I get a full Kidney, and I'm just destroying this guy. My healer throws in a Shackle, and even with the Rallying Cry, the Warrior doesn't have Intervene, so the Druid's just going to fall over. And, you know, hopefully this game could just show you kind of a representation of how much burst this build can actually do, on top of the fact that the DPS in the game itself is insane. If I rewind here, you know, as you can see, I did 3.4k DPS this game, which is, you know, more than 2.5 times what this warrior did. So, it's not every day you see a sub rogue doing 2.5 times more damage than a warrior in a twos game. Obviously, this is low rating. It's like 22, 27 or whatever it is. So this is going to change versus better players. But just for a bit of perspective of how much DPS this build is capable of, hopefully this could show it to you. Anyways, let's dive into the actual build now. Okay, pals, so let's actually dive into the build itself and go over the components that make this build what it is and explain kind of how it works. So this idea stemmed from a couple rogues, primarily an EU rogue named Houghton, who was playing Shadow Focus. This kind of started this small wave on NA, where other rogues like Naj and Calvish were also playing this talent. I haven't tried this myself, but this talent kind of started to make me think, what if I made a spec just for fun? Some type of rogue spec or a build that is all about having infinite energy, kind of like a sub rogue spec that's all based around just DPS and not just burst. So I did that. I basically tested. I played the conduit rush setup, of course, for down here for energy reduction on some of my abilities. And then I opted into Shadow Focus. I picked up Vigor. I also played Shot in the Dark. And I picked all of these energy reduction talents. And I kind of played like a spec. And one thing I noticed is all of the energy talents are very overkill. There's a lot of times where I'm basically just capped on energy and I really don't need any more and I'm getting too much. This gave me the idea, what if I take enough of the energy modifiers, but then I switch out some of the extra ones just for more damage modifiers? So I did that. I basically opted into dropping Shadow Focus and Shot in the Dark to pick up Prey and Night Stalker. And then I decided, you know what? Maybe I just turn this build into a build that's all around doing DPS, building back Shadow Dance as fast as possible, and then having a huge Shadow Dance. So I know it's kind of confusing how I got here, but it's actually kind of a cool build. So let me explain. Basically breaking down each tier. Weapon Master, the reason you're taking this over Pre-Med or Gloomblade is because this will proc more Shadow Strikes and Backstabs, which basically just gives you more combo points, and if you have more combo points, you'll get more procs of Deepening Shadows. If you have more procs of this, you'll build back Dance faster. So this tier, that's why I go Weapon Master. Night Stalker, like I said, the other options are just overkill for energy. I went for pure damage. Vigor. This, I think, is probably the best tool out of all the talents and stuff to have energy regen. So this seemed like a really good pick over Deep Roar or Mark for Death to kind of fill in the slot of energy regeneration. Elusiveness is just for defense. Prey on the Weak is a damage pick once again. Shot in the Dark fell overkill. And then Dark Shadow. The idea came to just play Dark Shadow and have a bigger dance as soon as I decided to kind of go for this all-in playstyle, and then obviously Master of Shadows. So what the playstyle is going to look like optimally is not running away a lot. And as a sub-rogue, obviously you want to run away a lot. When you're playing this build, you want to play more like a Windwalker monk. You want to run sometimes, but when you stay in, you get a lot of value out of staying in. You can basically be spamming Backstab, spamming Shuriken Storm, because Vigor gives you so much uptime with energy and combo points that you can build back this one powerful dance really fast. One other change that you could maybe do is just try playing this with Enveloping and going for more DPS overall instead of just going for the big dances. But yeah, this is a really fun build, guys. I would definitely recommend trying it. Like I said, 2v2 with a healer might be the best way to play this. Probably something that can make you have a bit more endurance, like a Resto Druid or a Holy Pally. Something like a Priest might be a little sketchy. And also, I could see this working in some threes comps. I'm not too sure. I haven't done any testing, but yeah, I just wanted to make a video, share this with you guys. A couple questions in case you guys ask. Why am I Night Fae? I decided to go back Night Fae on my main. My alt is Venthyr again. If you guys have any questions about any of that kind of stuff, just come to my stream. I stream basically every single day at twitch.tv/Palumor. If you're wondering why my hair looks orange, come ask me on my stream, twitch.tv/Palumor. But anyways, I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for watching a video. I'm very sorry for being inactive again, and I will catch you guys all in the next one.